Hello, everybody. Hello. Welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you're all doing, today. Hope you're all trying to do well and that you're all having a great day. There's a lot we need to talk about. And so, wow, this is going to be a bit of a crazy video. I do not even know where to begin. I literally cannot figure out where to actually start. I will say this. This is going to be a very intense video. If it is too much for you, I'll see you tomorrow. You don't have to watch just because I think we've gotten to the point where I need to say certain things. I've noticed that myself, as I don't have a gigantic following, I've told you all before, if you've been following the channel, I am not a hype channel. I give you the news. I explain the news to you and exactly what's going on. We sit down, we have some coffee, we go on about our day. The problem is that my reach is not that far. And the issue is that people who lie online, people who keep making up things, people who are just posting things just to get clicks. Literally just to get clicks, not even clickbait. It's something even farther ahead where they're just simply trying to see how much attention that they could get by lying about things in the market is completely out of control right now. The secondary part, and once again, forgive my French here, I'm almost certain, like absolutely 1000% certain that 90% of people in this market are absolute morons. I apologize. However, when I look around, so if you are on Twitter, you see I use it a lot more often than I used to do before. I like looking around and like seeing what's going on, what people are talking about. The amount of misinformation has reached, it's not even at a fever pitch because I feel like we could go like 8 times higher than we currently are right now. Whenever anything happens, even in normal life, excluding the cryptocurrency market, whenever anything happens, people don't read. People don't dig deeper. People don't want more information. All they simply look for is what the headline says. They screenshot it. They send it to their friends. They cause an irreverent amount of panic, what have you, so on and so forth. And they kind of let chaos reign and go, yeah, isn't that crazy? I heard the same exact thing. I've seen it done over and over and over and over and over and over and over. What's happening now in the cryptocurrency space are a few events, a few things that we knew were going to happen. And I'm going to try and put them as evenly as I possibly can so you get the full picture. Once again, sorry if this is a bit intense. Once again, just woke up, just rolled out of bed, saw what the news was, and I kind of shrugged and I was like, well, yeah, that was obviously going to happen. The secondary part was I said, okay, let me check and see what's happening on Twitter. Maybe there's a reasoning for all of this. And all the reasons are literal nonsense. What we are experiencing is one of the greatest levels of manipulation that I think anyone has ever seen. Ever. Twitter is consistently, and I don't think that everyone is doing this on purpose. The amount of things that people are putting out there with charts, and I mean these are daily charts that I keep seeing. You know how like every now and again we'll have charts on the channel and it'll show where prices are, if it bounces off this point and if it does that. But I'm noticing the trend of kind of post whatever the heck you want and let people like kind of deal with it themselves. People keep posting charts. I've been making fun of them for days now, for literal days now. The Bart Simpson hair chart, the cup and handles, the this downward movement chart, this upward expansion one. They're all complete nonsense. I think it's a way of trying to make sense of the chaos of the market that we're in. They're all I can tell you for a fact, before I went to bed, before I slept, I was scrolling through Twitter and I looked at all the charts that people were posting. I want to say US time around 6 at night. 5, 6 at night. I was looking at all the charts that people were posting when Bitcoin was, I think, had just fallen to 57 or 58,000, and everyone was posting. The bottom is in, the bottom is in. 57,000, the bottom is in. 58,000, the bottom is in. We would not go any lower. And people were posting, buy now, buy before it's too late, buy right now. I can show you the literal pages. It was, I scrolled by at least 30 to 40 different accounts, all saying the exact same thing. The bottom is in, prices are not going to go any lower. When I say that 90% of people in this market, and once again, understand my mindset here. I've been saying this for a while. It is impossible for us to see this much money flowing into the cryptocurrency market and for prices to go down. We are witnessing vast levels of manipulation on a scale that the average person cannot or does not want to understand. Everyone's so used to, and the problem is that we have so many new people in the market. They're so used to this idea of Lambo and Moonboy. I still see people posting these things. You may say that it's a joke. It's not. These people mean these things. They're constantly trying to tell you to do X, Y, and Z without looking at the actual facts. We are in a market that is expected to produce the first trillionaire. Normal people do not understand how greedy these people are and how much money that they have. It is a common misconception. It's the same exact thing about a week or two ago, where I was trying to explain to you the way that even like social media and all these other things work for celebrities. People consistently think that these celebrities are tweeting out themselves. There is a band of people behind them who are creating the tweets, another one who is posting the tweet. When they get told by companies, hey, post this tweet or meme or whatever, yada yada, on Instagram or on whatever, and they get a certain amount of money, this goes through a group of people. These people are never touching it. You are talking about a brand new world that a vast majority of the people within this market have no idea about. They see things only on the surface. I mean higher than the surface, like they're looking into the freaking clouds, not understanding what's going on. If we are in a market right now that is expected to produce trillionaires, do you understand how long and how much money and how much energy it takes to become a millionaire? Nonetheless, a multi-millionaire. If you have become a billionaire from this market, you are a rare exception. There's only a handful of them who've become billionaires. That expectation is if Bitcoin continues rising, if all the halvings happen, it becomes more scarce, and this happens. This is why we keep getting these numbers of $1 million Bitcoin. This is me, this is myself, this is from me. I think we are obviously at some point going to hit $1 million Bitcoin. What we're witnessing now is a flush out. Rich people do not like poor people. I felt someone chuckle. I felt someone go, you don't understand. We are not supposed to be in this market. What we're witnessing now is a very sophisticated form of price manipulation to continue flushing people out. The sentiment on Twitter for the last 3 months has been absolute misery, absolute agony. There was just a person, I don't know if it was fake or not. I mean, it looked pretty destroyed, who posted a photo of their computer setup. He just destroyed it like a couple of minutes ago before I started the video, because he woke up and he saw the prices had dropped by so much. This is done on purpose. They don't care about your feelings. They don't care about your emotions. They don't care about the family who you're trying to feed. They don't care about the mortgage that you have. It's about them. And I keep bringing that topic up across multiple different videos. And I think that people hear me, but you don't hear me. This market is meant for 8 billion people. Bitcoin was created as a way to escape the old system. People within this market continuously are rushing, bending over backwards, doing somersaults, getting on both knees and crawling forward to make sure that rich people have all the power in this market again. And this is where we are. This is what it's led to. When your main focus is jumping on the back of the guy who created Dell computers, and do you understand? How do I say this? You know, a lot of the issuers of the ETFs within the United States, have you ever looked at their history of what they've done as companies? How ruthless they are to everyday normal people? The amount of evictions that they cause, the amount of land that they've, I won't say the word stolen. These people are monsters. So I remember seeing when we heard news that they were going to be launching ETFs, I was like, well, let's see what happens. You know, maybe we'll get some other companies. And then we heard officially that those companies were going to be it. And I was like, well, that's what we have to deal with. Cool. And everyone's hyper euphoric. These companies hate you. Anyone out there, anyone out there who has, and I mean like rich friends. It's cool that your friend Joe bought a house. He didn't use a mortgage. He built half of it himself. If you know people who have net worths in the tens and hundreds of millions, the way that they talk about everyday normal people would make you gag. You don't understand what this market is. You don't understand when I talk about, so I think sometimes, I'll put it to you this way. You know how like a lot of times I'm always constantly saying the people who are in this market are lucky. You're here early. Despite any price drops that we're having right now or any bad days we might have or any type of drama, what have you. The people who got in at $1, they're still looking at the price. Cool, I'm still up. If you got in last year, like a year and some change ago, you got in Bitcoin around $17,000, you're still completely up. We are talking about it takes so much power and energy and money to become wealthy. These people have figured out where this market is going to go in the future, how much money there is to be made. You know, the problem is that they don't want us here. You don't understand. You're not getting it. The idea is you need to consolidate as much power as humanly possible and as much wealth and as much money because normal people don't know what to do with it. It's the same exact thing for housing. It's the same exact thing for stocks. If you have 200 million people who are owning tons, each one owns an individual home. Maybe they have a summer home somewhere. If mortgage rates do this, if interest rates do that, there's going to be a cascade in the actual selling of all the homes. What do? Is you make sure that in 2008, 2009, you flush out as many people as possible from this market, and you as a company start buying up in mass. I told you that. You can find old articles from 2011, 2012, 2013 of these companies who came from Asia, who came from Russia, who came from Europe, who came from Canada, who moved into the US, and they bought up significant portions of cities. Why do you do this? Well, it's a number of reasons. One, when you own all the land, you own all the houses on top of it. You dictate what rent then is in the future. Everyone in the future is, if you don't own a home, you're going to be a renter. And you are going to be told by this corporation what your rent is, and there will be no say in it. That's the first part. The second part is you make sure that there can be no wipeouts. Should there be a stock market crash, should there be some kind of a problem, housing prices won't collapse because they're all held by these large companies. It's all held in consolidation and they keep buying up more. By the year 2040, we're talking about 60 to 70% of all homes are going to be owned by corporations. It's being done on purpose. They need to solidify the market in their hands to make sure that there is no other housing crash. It happens for stocks. You may see that Tesla stock went up by 3%, so you buy one Tesla stock. You see that Nvidia went up by 15%, and they had a stock break into multiple different stocks. So you can buy the stocks a lot easier, like they're not as expensive as before. These companies daily are buying massive amounts of stocks to consolidate because they want a huge 3, 4, 5% portion of that company to be able to share in the actual earnings, to have a seat at the board. It's just about wealth consolidation. If you get a chance, watch any documentary on the, his name is Bernard Arnault, the guy who owns LVMH, the Louis Vuitton conglomeration. They explain, I mean, on podcasts and everything, the way that this guy did it is the same exact way that whales are accumulating Bitcoin right now. He bought a lot of the companies. I mean, he owns nearly every single luxury clothing brand. He bought them slowly. He saw in the 80s and 90s what these companies were worth, and he figured out mathematically how much of the company he needed to be able to become a large holder, to be able to have a seat at the board. And he literally voted out family members who were part of these companies. He started in the 80s and 90s by buying a couple $100,000 or millions of dollars worth of stock nearly every single month to not cause any waves, constantly doing it. During the hyper ups and the hyper downs, you even saw people talking about, yeah, like but this stock is clearly going to crash. It's clearly going to go down. And he like, it's noted, he was buying the entire time until at some point, like someone like flagged something and they were like, that one company has a huge portion. And then him and two of his friends would come out of the woodworks and go, yeah, we've been buying for the last 10 to 15 years. We're now majority owners in this company. What you're witnessing right in front of you, every other thing is basically noise. It's just a matter of, I can't believe that these people are doing construction as I'm doing this. I'm not sure if you can hear it. That's terrible. What you're witnessing right now is the same exact thing. The point is to flush out as many people as humanly possible from this market to gather all the Bitcoin. When you hear me talk about in videos, and I know that people don't care, that's the problem. When I talk about that this market is for everyone and it's meant for everyone on the planet, and when I'm asking you, are you telling people that you know about crypto? Are you getting more people into this market? Are you finding a way to let other people understand what this market is? And I know that people aren't, because people don't care. A lot of the greed that we continuously see, especially in this market, is you don't want to tell other people because you're afraid of them taking your sunshine in some sort of way. I've seen people talk about it before. They don't tell their friends because they don't want their friends to make money. They want to make money to be able to brag to other people that they made the money. There's some kind of a fear that if you think that if you let someone else in on the market and the market goes up, that they're going to make more money than you. It is toxic, is not even. You don't understand. Every time the price drops, the coins, we've had this news daily. The coins get bought up by whales over and over and over. It's been 7 years. I've been doing this channel daily for nearly a decade, and we get the same news over and over and over and over and over. The first explanation as to why the price is dropping is that people who are mining Bitcoin have begun to sell their Bitcoin. We see this every single cycle. Willy Woo just posted it on Twitter, and I don't think I got a response back, but alas, it is what it is. Willy Woo posted on Twitter that what we're seeing is mining capitulation. It's basically, if Bitcoin's price continues to go lower, the people who are mining the coins to keep their electricity on must sell coins. And he wrote that this is great because we're seeing the weaker people in the market, the smaller mining people, so everyday normal people who are in the market being flushed out, because it helps to consolidate the powers of the larger companies and corporations who are in the market, who are mining Bitcoin, so that they have more control over the market. When they control a more significant portion, if not 80 to 90%, they'll make sure that X, Y, and Z doesn't. And it's like, so I wrote back for those of you who didn't see it. I said, why are you clapping for that? The idea is that normal people, everyday normal people, remember those news stories that we used to get years ago about people in Venezuela and all these other places who had 3 little machines, and they were mining Bitcoin for themselves. And they were mining this Bitcoin because, you know, anything that they got from it was more money than they would have made in a day from working. And they were using that money, those Satoshis, to, like, you know, not live a good life under their economic circumstances, but they were able to live because of the Satoshis that they were actually getting. So the idea is that if you keep flushing all of these people out, make them turn their machines off, and you consolidate more mining power, then at some point they'll make sure to stop selling off to allow prices to basically go back up again because of the lack of selling pressure. Everything we're seeing around us is manipulation. You have given control over this market to the wealthiest people on the planet, and this is the outcome. When Bitcoin isn't owned by the people, the corporations have the power. People are consistently pushing back any kind of progress that we've made to make sure that the richest people on the planet own every single aspect, every single portion of it. We're even seeing the exact same thing when it comes to Ether. All the stuff that you're seeing online about this new coin and that new coin and so and so. I've seen people on Twitter and you can see on the bottom how many views they have. 800,000 views, 14,000 retweets. Sell your Ethereum. Buy this coin instead. We see Ether's price drop. It gets absorbed nearly automatically by whales, and then they start restaking it. It's a loop. It's a constant loop to get you to be terrified and afraid to sell your coins and to literally stop mining. Have any of you read anything that Satoshi said when he first appeared and came out, and what the point of Bitcoin is actually for and who Bitcoin mining is for? It's for you. It's for everyone. It's not capable for everyone to do it, but it's meant to be, please everyone around the world if you can to do it. The point is to shake out the weakness, to consolidate the mining power, to consolidate the amount of Bitcoin, because you essentially stop price drops like this from happening again. The problem is then we get to a $1.8 million Bitcoin in 15, 20 years. And who holds all the Bitcoin? It's not you. It's not your friends. It's not your family. And then you sit there going, oh my gosh, I had some of that years ago. It's the same thing. It's freaking crazy to see this happening over and over again. And then once again, the problem is that my reach is not that far. So I can tell you every single day, as long as I want to, until the freaking cows come home. And the portion of the people who are watching this right now don't listen. You look for other explanation because it has to be something else. It can't just be that. It has to be Mt. Gox. It has to be so-and-so. No, they don't want you here. We are not meant for this market anymore. It's the same with every other market. It's happening globally. Remember when I was showing, and I remember this in 2020, this was the craziest thing in the entire world. When the cryptocurrency prices were going down, people here in the crypto space were like, oh, it's going down because Cathie Wood said this. Oh, it went down because Mike Novogratz, he didn't post on Twitter today. And I was like, no, the world is, have you looked outside the window? Have you watched the news? That's why prices are dropping. And it took weeks for people in the cryptocurrency space to acknowledge what was happening in the news, that stocks were completely collapsing. Everyone was running around panicking, and they were like, well, yeah, I guess it has some kind of slight effect on crypto. What planet are people living on? It's completely insane. The amount of nonsense I'm seeing on Twitter, I think people need help. Helpity help. The other news right now that people are trying to make sense of, and we've gone over this 80,000 bajillion times before, especially if you've been with this channel for a while, you'll know exactly what the heck I'm talking about. We've had this for so long in the cryptocurrency space. The idea of Mt. Gox. Mt. Gox was the crypto exchange back in 2011, 2012, I believe. They got hacked due to excessive incompetence by the person who ran the exchange. The rumors go Apparently they were hacked once, he didn't say anything. They were hacked twice, he didn't say jack diddly squat. On the third time, the hacker took so many coins that he basically came forward and was like, yeah, we had a really big problem. Since then, there's been someone in control over the coins. Every year, 2 years or so, the creditor comes forward saying that he's going to start the repayments for the people who lost their coins. We had an issue about a month and a half ago where it was told that the Mt. Gox repayments were finally going to start, and a whole bunch of people within the cryptocurrency space were posting, "Oh, don't give these people their coins back because they're going to sell them." And if I could lightly backhand multiple people, I promise you I would. Imagine your coins got stolen. Imagine your car got stolen. Imagine your house got stolen and someone was like, oh, don't give them back their house. It's only going to ruin house property values. I know this guy plans on selling. You want to give him back his crypto? He's broke right now. Maybe he wants to sell. Disgusting. Like literally disgusting people in this market. The idea is that these people are going to get back the coins that were stolen from them. Rightfully so. However, and I mean a gigantic however written in the sky, we've known that these repayments were going to happen for about a decade. Did everyone hear that? We've known that this was going to happen. Also, we knew that and know that these people have also been already in discussions with very wealthy individuals so that when they decide to sell their own coins that are their own property, it'll simply be transferred to whatever institution, whatever company, whatever bank is trying to buy it so that it won't hit the actual market. Even if it did, it's okay. We have a gigantic problem in this space when it comes to selling. The mindset constantly for a lot of hyper, mega, ultra, super Saiyan Bitcoin maximalists is don't ever sell. Don't ever sell. Why are you selling? The problem is that this sentiment leaks everywhere. I see people in the XRP corner telling other people, don't sell, the price is about to go back up. People in Cardano, why are you selling? Who's selling the price right now? You can see the panic. You can see like the red lines in the charts that people post on Twitter for every single coin. It becomes this hyper taboo that if anyone sells, if anyone gets rid of their coins, we're all not going to make it. The prices are going down. We have the proper liquidity in this market for people to sell. It's okay if people sell their coins. It's all right if people decide to leave the market. It's their life, it's their money, it's their coins. The original idea of Bitcoin is to be able to do with it how you so please. No one can tell you or will be able to tell you what to do with your wallet address. That's why it's also hyper creepy when people have these wallet addresses marked. Michael Saylor, this is Kathy Wood, this is Jack Dorsey. When you know these things, you are no better than the banks that we're trying to get away from. You are literally making sure that the system stays intact, nailed on the wall for everyone to see. It's these people's money. They got robbed a decade ago and they want it back. We know that a lot of these people do not plan on selling, and even for those who do, they're going to be bought up by third parties. And should any of those coins at any point hit the market, so be it. Let the price drop. Let those coins re-enter the market so that normal everyday people can buy their fragments that they want to buy at a cheaper price. This market is doomed. This market is doomed and is never going to go anywhere if this is the constant sentiment that we have about selling. We can't go anywhere. Everyone's constantly terrified, and the problem is that fear works. Fear mongering is a very powerful thing. If you see some kind of news and you know it's not, for those of you who miss it and over the course, like literally the last week, we had a lot of people who've been in the market for a while who were posting on Twitter. They said this any kind of Mt. Gox situation that's happening right now isn't going to have a major impact on the market. The problem is that doesn't sell. So what you need to do is you find a really catchy title of an article, you copy and paste it, you send it to everyone, and you tell everyone to be mortified. If Bitcoin's price goes down by a little bit, everyone needs to sell right now because blah, 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 blah. And normal people sell their coins not understanding what's going on. These repayments are not happening all at once. I'll repeat that one more time. The repayments from the creditor, it's apparently, I think like a couple $1 billion worth of Bitcoin, are not happening in one day. They're happening slowly over the course of about 3 to 4 months, if not more. Did everyone hear that? A large portion of the people maybe have around 15 to 5 to 1 Bitcoin. There are a couple of people who have larger amounts of Bitcoin. These are the people who have been contacted by the institutions already. This is nothing but fear mongering and to get you to be afraid and to get you to think that something terrible and awful and horrible and blah, 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 and all these things are happening. Behind the scenes, some of these coins have probably already been purchased. Deals happen earlier. If you see that someone has a certain amount of Bitcoin and they're going to get it back in 2.5 years, you can go, hey, we'll give you 200 million right now. And when you get those coins, they'll be transferred to us instead. But that doesn't sell. That doesn't make people more afraid. I'm almost certain that a large portion of this and a large portion of the news is coming from institutions. I'm almost certain, who are making sure that people get terrified. Not only are they making sure that they push prices down, but they're making sure that everyone else gets scared enough and that the news permeates enough to get people out of the market. I'm certain of it. I'm absolutely certain. It's like a number of, I won't name them, a number of larger, like well-known publications online who for years only wrote negative articles about Bitcoin and Tether, Bitcoin and Tether, Bitcoin and Tether. All of a sudden, these BlackRocks and Fidelities get into the crypto space. Oh, that's weird. There's no more negative articles about Bitcoin and Tether. The other news, for those of you who weren't scared by it, is that governments have begun to sell off their coins and or are moving their coins to other addresses. So over the course of the last decade, and I know that a lot of people don't know this because we have an abundant amount of brand new people into the market. Over the course of the last decade, governments have kind of found any reason to try and fearmonger as well within the cryptocurrency space. If there was a website that they didn't like or they said was allegedly doing this, that, and the third, let's shut them down. A lot of the transactions for these websites were happening with cryptocurrencies, and a lot of them were mainly happening with Bitcoin. These coins were confiscated by multiple different governments around the world, and these are the coins that they currently hold. We've even warped so much, like a toxic warping, that a lot of people even stand on boxes outside it and they clap loudly and proclaim that these governments are holding these coins and that it's a good thing. These coins are also stolen coins from people, whether they did it or not. We cannot ascertain as we do not have that information. But the problem is that they should not have any of these coins. I think the US government currently holds over 200,000 coins. But they've also been moving their coins around, and it's also okay if they sell. Like, it's literally totally fine. Our market is made for this. They are not meant to have these coins. I know a lot of people have probably already left the video and or checked out because it's not the information that they want. You're not here. I'm not showing you a chart. I'm not showing you divergence. I'm not showing you a cup and handles. I'm not showing you lines. I'm not showing you all these things. This is what's actually happening in the space. This is why Bitcoin's price keeps falling. This is why cryptocurrency is down today. It's because of this stupid news that I'm showing you right now. The problem is it doesn't take a lot. It doesn't take a lot of effort to lower prices down. It's very simple. It's very simple forms of manipulation by making sure that we fall at a certain point, because they know exactly when exactly the longs and the shorts begin. They know when the liquidation is going to happen, and they know how to make sure that prices cascade. And it's as simple as moving coins onto a cryptocurrency exchange, because we've seen this before. We've seen it happen multiple times. The institutions know exactly what they're doing. A lot of people are asking, and this is also, I would not be surprised. It depends on how big your tinfoil hat is. It's kind of weird that all this stuff is happening at the exact same time. Between Mt. Gox, Germany, and the US literally just moving their coins around to different addresses and also selling off some of their coins, the timing is a bit peculiar, but that's also something for you to mull over by yourself. Germany, I believe, has 50,000 coins. I think that was the thing that I heard at least before. Can't find the numbers here. Yeah, Germany holds 50,000 Bitcoin worth around 2.7 billion. And so the news that we got is that apparently they moved, I think, $100 million worth of their coins onto cryptocurrency exchanges. Do you understand what liquidity is? Do you understand why Bitcoin is so strong and like why it's so robust? You might see the prices drop and you go, well, it's not that robust. You're not understanding what liquidity actually is. This goes back to, and I hate having to use this as an example, but it's exactly what it is. Remember about 2 or 3 years ago when everyone was holding Elon Musk on their shoulders because he said the word Bitcoin on a something? And the thing was, for those of you who missed it once again, it was that Tesla, I believe it was Tesla, purchased a huge amount of Bitcoin. And everyone was like, yeah, give more money to the rich people. Because, you know, he's already like super hyper freaking rich. And then like about a year later, he announced that they had sold some of their Bitcoin. This was a deep, dark, terrible day for so many people in crypto because their hero sold off some of their Bitcoin. The explanation was, he said he wanted to see how much liquidity was in the market. The idea was they did not announce that they were selling. They announced when they had sold. So he said, no, we sold off bid after bid after bid after bid over the course of a couple of months or a year to see if the price would drop, and it didn't. They needed to test the amount of liquidity in the market. When you hear that people are selling all the time. It just doesn't make the news. People are buying all the time. It just doesn't usually have a hyper crazy effect on price like it should, because institutions are holding the prices down. What does cause prices to go down is to hear that not that company or that company or that company who sold $1 billion plus worth of Bitcoin slowly but surely, and it had no effect on the price. You're told to be afraid. The government should not have these coins in the first place. It should not. These are not their coins. And I mean that from a circular, spherical standpoint. Those coins belong to the people. Those coins belong, and I dare even extrapolate. They should probably belong to all the people within Germany who don't know about the market, who should learn, and they should be able to buy those coins. The problem is that people figure out that one event is happening and they tell you to hyper focus on it. Mt. Gox, be scared, be afraid. Do you know how much Bitcoin they have? It's really scary. If they sell those coins, what's going to happen? We have enough liquidity to be able to stomach it. Over the course of 4 months, we have enough liquidity. Our market's very liquid, and it's going to become more liquid the more other derivatives and other ETFs that we also have as well within this space. Period. I don't know what else to really say after that. Anyone selling off $150 million worth of Bitcoin isn't cause for panic or concern, because it's not $1 billion. It's a tenth of $1 billion. It's not $100 billion. And we have a 1.3, $1.4 trillion market cap. We have enough liquidity to be able to stomach all of it, but it's not scary enough. This is usually the problem. Researchers right now are trying to figure out where the market's going to go. What's going to happen with Bitcoin? I said it. Just based off of pure, literal logic. We are probably going back down to $47,000. I don't know where I got $47,000 from. It just sounds completely correct. A lot of analysts on Twitter right now, the people are just posting this. They're talking about that Bitcoin looks like it's going to fall to 50,000, if not a bit lower. Why do construction right behind my head? It is absolutely insane. It is also very early in the morning, so I don't really understand that. We're probably going to go lower. I know a lot of people, remember when I've maybe in like the last, I don't know, year, maybe I've said it once or twice. This is what the market is really like. And you're all experiencing it right now. What the majority of people see with this market is the euphoria phase. They see everyone happy, everyone joyous, prices keep going up. These people who were skeptical, who didn't want to get into the market, crypto is A, B, C, D, E, and F. They see on the news, prices rose by 7%. Prices rose by this percent. Bitcoin's at a brand new all-time high. And this is when they throw their money into the market, expecting to make money. The way that millionaires are made is by being in the market now. That's not financial advice. It's simply a matter of fact. The people who become the richest in this market are the people who wade through this, but it's not for everyone. If you've seen on my other channel, if you've seen me talking about it on Twitter, I'm buying an enormous amount of crypto right now because I've been through this before. It is not for the faint-hearted. It is not for the weak of stomach. If you have anxiety, this market is not for you. We've been through this before. It's done on purpose. You have these misery moments and you got to pick yourself up and you got to keep going. It's when prices are low that you buy. That's how the market works. I saw something a couple of weeks ago. The article said something along the lines of Bitcoin dropped by 4% and whales purchased $700 million despite price drops. If English isn't your first language, despite means like, okay, I guess I'll still do it. No, they're doing it because prices are dropping. We are talking about an asset that could be worth tens of trillions of dollars in the next decade. They're flushing people out. I said 47,000 weeks ago. We are probably going to 47,000-ish dollars per coin. It has nothing to do with the chart. It has nothing to do with lines. It has nothing to do with the cup and handle. And it's not me trying to call people out, but I was writing on Twitter and I was like, where's your chart? Where's all the stuff you were just saying? Because a lot of times, and it's like this really weird, people don't want to be challenged. People don't want to be asked things. You know, if you are posting on Twitter to 300,000 people daily, that's it. The price isn't going any lower. The price is bottom. The price is so-and-so. Even in the last video, I showed you all the analysts were talking about the same exact thing. The price is bottom. Then I was like, I don't know. I'm not really sure. It doesn't feel like it because we're in total misery right now. For those of you who don't know. And where is it? Where is it? It's right here. This I thought was hilarious. For those of you not looking at the screen, it's the fear and greed index. About a good 3 weeks ago, we were in greed. The market had been dropping for 3 months straight. And the gauge was in greed. And I said, where? What? Where? What are you talking about that we're in greed? Absolutely no. We're probably realistically somewhere around here. The vast majority of the market, the vast majority of the people in this space are brand new. They don't understand the market. And once again, it's not like I'm some genius, mega, ultra investor. I've just been through this through so many cycles. It's always the same. Some of them last longer, some of them last shorter. We are simply in the same exact loop that we were last time, and then the loop before that, and the loop before that. It's a shaking out of people. They don't want us here. The large portion of the people have left, but there are still a few hanging on. You can wash them out completely. It has so much more to do than washing out the longs and washing out the shorts. It's about the people. Really wealthy, really rich people don't care jack diddly squat about normal people. It's about them and their legacy and their wealth and their money. They're flushing everyone who they can out of the market. You know how we saw the we keep having those long and short term like holder kind of metrics where, you know, the people who've been holding for this long are still holding on. The people who got into the market 6 months ago, 70% of them are gone. Like, we keep getting those metrics. They follow those. They have more information that I could even begin to possibly imagine. They have charts we couldn't even read even if we tried. The point is always to get people in the market to push the price up. They start selling. They know exactly how much to sell to start flushing these people out. And they buy up all the coins from these people. It also causes almost a reverse osmosis FOMO. I don't know what the heck that means. The people who are getting flushed out right now won't re-enter the market until around $80,000 or $90,000 per Bitcoin. They will not re-enter the market until the FOMO gets so strong that they're kind of forced to jump back into the space. They won't re-enter at 60. They won't re-enter at 70 because they're still expecting the price to go back down. When it hits 80 and 90,000, they know that they've made a mistake. They start buying back in. This is what causes the price pumps. For those of you who haven't been here multiple different cycles, the price always drops. I mean, we had a bit more of a dramatic drop in 2020 because of circumstances, but the price always drops. The problem is it's a matter of institutions, how heavy they want the drop to be to wipe people out. The rush up that we always see that over the course of a year period, whatever the case might be, is always usually from retail. They rush back in and they realize that they could have bought, they should have bought, not financial advice, but you understand. So the experts, air quotes, right now are talking about that we're probably going to go a lot lower. I expect it. I think everyone else should be expecting it as well. I told you from the very beginning that this is going to be a bit of an intense video. I'm trying to give you as much information as humanly possible, as much as I possibly can about everything that's going on, everything that's currently happening. We are probably more than likely going to see, even now, you know, what are the odds? The guy, Ki Young-ju, one of the analysts who we always hear about, he literally said the number's 47,000, and I was like, how amazing. He said, from a long-term perspective, I think the bullish cycle is not over yet. Looking at realized prices for various groups of wallet addresses, I think a short-term correction could go as high or as low as $47,000. If your money is in spot, like if you hold Bitcoin, I think it's better to hold your position until early or mid next year. We are witnessing one of the weirdest moments in the entire world. I keep seeing people posting as well. What do you call it? What's it called? The stock market. The stock market apparently is hitting new all-time highs, and people are asking why Bitcoin isn't going there. It wasn't even a Trojan horse. It was a guy wearing a suit walk into the castle. The institutions have control over this market now, and they're going to do whatever they need to do to be able to flush everyone out of the space as best they possibly can. I wish I could hold your hand, that I could make things a little bit better for you to like really get it or understand. This is the market. Welcome. I'm holding both my hands out like I'm like a performer, like ta-da, like one of those things. This is it. This is what you don't see. This is what you miss when you're not inside of the market. When you're here, I almost said your family. When you're here, this is how it takes place. This is also what happens in the housing market and also in the stock market. This is just how markets are. Whales control everything, and you let the largest whales into the castle. They have their own rooms. The castle has, 21 million rooms, and they're like, I'm going to take this million rooms for myself and me and my friends. I think if you want my opinion, I think the market's going to do just fine. I've been through this before. I think personally that there's going to be more misery, and I should not have to, but I need to reiterate, as I've been saying the last couple of months, do not put any money into this market that you cannot afford to lose. I know only 3 people heard me, and I'm looking your direction with a thumbs up. To everyone else who did not hear me again, every month after you've paid your rent, you've paid your mortgage, you've paid your light, gas, electricity, you make sure you have a roof over your head, you have food in your refrigerator. Any extra money you have left over that would have gone to nonsense, that's what you use to put into this market. I've said it for nearly a decade now, because I'm seeing on Twitter, people are posting, I'm miserable. I took out a loan to put into this market. I saw another, because the algorithm shows you a whole bunch of nonsense. Someone else wrote something along the lines of they were asking a couple of friends for like 20K. All their friends gave it to them, and they were like, I'm in minus. I have no money to give them. I keep trying to trade the market. I'm making all the wrong moves. I'm too terrified to tell my friends. Why would you want to put yourself in that situation? At what point do you think that level of stress is appropriate? I have a friend, luckily, it's very rare that people listen to me. People never listen to the words that I say my entire life. He luckily listened to me. This was, I want to say, last cycle. He was really hyped about the market. Made a pretty good chunk of change. He made like low 6 figures off of a couple of coins that I told him to get into. He got really hyped. And he was like, I think I'm going to take out a loan. And I was like, don't do that. His initial number was $5,000. I'm going to take out a $5,000 loan, dump it into a bunch of coins. It's probably going to 20x. And I was like, nope, never take out a loan. I saw him about a week or 2 later. He had upped the number to $50,000. This isn't a joke. This is a real story. He told me he went to the bank, had a discussion with them, and they were like, yeah, we can totally lend you $50K. And he was like, I think I'm going to do it. I was like, don't you even think about dare doing it. It took about, I think, 3 months later, that's when the market began to drop. And I told him, I said, can you imagine if you had taken out a $5K loan? He was like, I would have been pretty sad because I would have, put a whole bunch of it into the market. I said, can you imagine if you had taken out a $50,000 loan? You'd be in nonstop misery thinking of how am I going to repay this back to the bank? Do not take out loans. Do not remortgage your home. Do not. And I know it's falling on deaf ears because that's just the way that humans work. People, you want hype news. You want happy news. I'm telling you, this is the market. This is how it works. This is what I've been through multiple other times before. If the market is too much for you, it's okay to step away. I've said during many other videos, you have to if you are looking at the prices every single hour, you're causing yourself extra pain for no reason. There's no reason for you to be looking. You looking at the prices is not going to magically, Michael's looking at the prices, gotta go up. That's not how they work. You're causing yourself misery. It's okay to look every 2 or 3 days, but I can almost assure you, none of you are at the prices where you planned on cashing out and or taking profits. And you're not going to hit that tomorrow. You're not going to hit that in a week. Why are you looking at prices every single day? Why are you making yourselves miserable? When I keep saying go do something nice for yourself, go out and have fun, call up friends, order a pizza, watch a movie. You have to find these moments to make yourself happy, or you're living in literal misery every single day. This is what the market is. This is how all markets are. Have you ever, you've seen these things. The people who are like in Wall Street, when they're like in that big room and it's hundreds of guys running around, and you see these famous videos of these guys looking up at the screens, holding their heads and clutching their hair and looking sad and scared. It means nothing to you when you're younger and you're not in a market. When you're in crypto, you get it. This is how markets are. They're manipulated. Prices fall. You wash out the weaklings. It shouldn't be this way, but this is the way that things are. I see a lot of the larger players in the space talking about like, this is it. Cool, I'm buying a whole bunch more. It's not that you have to follow in their footsteps, but it's more of a... Somebody wrote something on Twitter yesterday that it was something about being in the trenches. They were like, this is it. You hear about the bad days, but not that you get annoyed when there are bad days. You don't understand what it means. On the other channel, I keep talking about having a rainy day fund, having a fund for when things don't go well. I've been saying that over and over since like 2019. Is the idea that nothing good lasts forever. I'm sorry to burst your bubble. It's just the way that life is as far as we know it right now. You can't always assume that you're going to have that hyper good paying job. You have no money saved up. If you lose that job, I can't say those words, but you understand what you are. You need, it's crazy how the mind works, how people just focus on like the thing right in front of them and nothing else. On Twitter, everyone's in a mad dash to try and explain what's going on, to explain what's happening. A couple of days ago, people were sharing these similar charts. For those of you not looking, it's literally a graph showing how there's always been like a pull down, a pull down, a pull down, a pull down. It's just people trying to make sense of chaos. We have never seen this level of manipulation in this market before. We have never been here. We've had situations because we've never had this much money flowing through the market. We've had situations before where even during a bad month, 2-month, 3-month period, we get good news. We'll still move up by a tiny bit. We get good news now and we move down in price. The same people who were posting on Twitter 8 hours ago, 10 hours ago, 12 hours ago, this is the bottom, this is the dip, we're not going to go any lower. This is what they're posting now on Twitter. It's okay, don't worry, you got to pull back, look at the and it's like, I appreciate other people trying to, it's not even calming fears. I think they're doing the exact opposite. I think people are just making other people so much more anxious in the space right now that it's not really helping at all. This is an intense market. I maybe get to tell you that maybe once a month. Maybe I don't tell everyone that as often as I maybe should. The other hype channels are terrified right now because the hype that they've been feeding you isn't playing out. They've been telling you that all these new coins and this coin and that coin and so go skyrocket and move. This is what a market is like. This is what a brand new currency being in this market. This is what it's like. The expectations that in a couple of decades we could see Bitcoin becoming the new world reserve currency, the US dollar. This is what it takes. It's a long, arduous, painful process. Yes, The market. Yeah, also these charts as well, they get me. They really get me. For those of you not looking, it's people showing these like bouncing off charts, and then you look a couple of hours later and the price is actually around here because these charts are always completely wrong. Yes, the market's moving down because of market manipulation. It happens in every market. If you are not able to stomach it, it's okay. You should not feel ashamed. Don't feel less than. That's not a joke. This is rough. This is rough to go through. We all have expectations of what to do with this money, where we want to put this money, what we want to do, how we want to prepare. It's a knock-on effect when you see that the world isn't doing well, when you see that the economy's not doing too great, see that the stock market's going up, and you're like, hey, I want my own money. I want to secure this. I saw people writing before. People want to buy land. People want to buy homes. They want to set up for them and their partner. Like, it's totally understandable. This is not for the faint. It is simply not. This is a very, very rough market, and it's probably going to be this way for at least the next 2 cycles, if we can be completely honest with how things are going. The fear that we're seeing from the German government selling, I'm air quoting to the heavens right now, and also the Mt. Gox sell-off is nothing but fear mongering. And the problem is it works. The short-term holders are capitulating. They're selling off their coins because they don't want to be in this market anymore. This fear works extremely well. The market is moving the way that it is because of trillion-dollar institution price manipulation. That's basically what it is. So, in some way, I do hope that you've all enjoyed. I hope you got something from it. This is the news of what's happening. We have enough liquidity in our markets to be able to handle these large amounts of selling. On any given day, we would normally go down by around 3 to 5 to 7% from a heavy amount of selling. I knew that something was amiss when we got news that MicroStrategy purchased, what was it? Wasn't it several $100 million worth of Bitcoin? And the price still dropped. That's when I knew. I was like, 47,000 is definitely on the horizon. We have never, whenever MicroStrategy buys 500 Bitcoin. Remember that day when they bought, this was years ago, they bought some Bitcoin just to like round out their numbers. It was like 433, it was something nonsensical. We moved up by like 5% that day. When they bought several $100 million worth of Bitcoin and we slipped in price, I said, okay, I know exactly who controls the market now. For what it's worth, how do I say this without sounding completely insane? I don't think I've ever been more bullish on the market. I still have a lot of faith in it. And I mean, even more if we can, play devil's avocado, just from the standpoint of the institutions who are in this space. They're greedy. They want money, and they're making sure that they consolidate their power and consolidate the amount of Bitcoin that they have so that essentially there are no weak hands, if you will, as the market comes back into play and begins to move back up. So based off their levels of greed, I'm kind of like, okay, let's do this. If this is the game you want to play, you want to keep knocking people out of the market, you want to keep making things lower, I'm going to keep buying. I'm going to keep accumulating so that, this is my opinion, so that when prices move back up, whenever the institutions do say so, I can profit from it accordingly. That is completely my mindset. Once again, I was trying to say it without sounding completely insane, because I know that is not the sentiment of a lot of other people right now. We are probably going to continue hearing about this Mt. Gox nonsense for a while. Any other crazy price movements that we end up seeing will be attributed to Mt. Gox and to the German government. I'll say this very nicely. Let me try and fit my words together. I think it's just more along the lines of if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. So I think I'll even leave it at that. A lot of people keep talking about other countries and other places. And I, just be nice, everyone. Just be nice. Just because you heard propaganda that said that something is happening because of one place and because of so-and-so doesn't mean that you need to voice your terrible, stupid opinion on Twitter for other morons to also listen to you as well, because you're completely incorrect. I think I think that was a very nice way of saying it. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, liking, commenting, and supporting in your own way. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.